waiting for a man who says he's going to blow the lid off the secrets of the religion of the stars, to tell the story of the dark side of the Church of Scientology.
Hi there, everyone. We definitely have some dark side of the Church of Scientology to talk about tonight. Hi, Christie.
Hi, everybody.
We are, as you may be able to see, wearing our Collingwood hoodies sent to us by Dr. X. Unfortunately, for me at least, not so much for Christy, but because I have this black hoodie on, the camera is adjusting to try and get more light, and so my face looks kind of washed out. But you know, not much I can do about that. Dr. X sent us these wonderful hoodies and a whole bunch of other stuff, including tons of Australian treats, an Australian football, a shirt signed by the Australian cricket team. I mean,
show it, Mike. Put it bigger. Oh. Put us bigger on the screen, and you can see the in the background.
Over there is the Australian cricket team 2019 World Cup, signed by all the players, and a Australian rules football, all sent by Dr. X. So cool. And like so cool. 30 pounds of candy and cookies and Vegemite and all sorts of necessary supplies for any Australian. Okay, so
Thank you, Dr. X.
Yes. I sort of promised that we were going to talk about what happened on our trip to Philadelphia. You probably recall the last video that I did was a little thing saying, you know, Scientology was trying to find out what flights we were on. And, you know, I just wanted to make that known before we left. Well, they didn't disappoint. And
they sure didn't.
Christy actually is going to recount the story because Christy is the one that first spotted this probable PI, likely PI, almost certain PI.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
All right. So we arrived at the Tampa airport. We got through security, and we finally made it to our gate, and we sat down on the seats. And we were there for a few minutes, and I didn't really notice anything too concerning. But then I realized that the man sitting in front of us, and I don't know if he came after us or before, I wasn't paying attention, but eventually I noticed that there was a man sitting directly across from us in the seats at the gate. And he had his laptop, and he was holding his laptop kind of like this in front of him, and his phone facing us. And it looked a little weird, but I was like, whatever, you can't just assume right away that something's wrong. My spidey senses were like, something. Okay, well, whatever. So we got on our plane.
Well, also, honey, just as a note, there are people that recognize me in various places, and they, want to take photos, or, if they don't want to walk up to me and say hello, or don't feel like they don't want to disturb me or whatever, sometimes they try and take sneaky photos. So it's not that weird to have someone taking photos.
Of course. And the first indicator, anytime I see something strange, is just like, okay, that's one little strange thing. And I didn't catch him taking a photo. I just kind of caught him holding his phone in a weird way and it could have been like anything. It could have been like, okay, I'm holding my phone. Like, I could just be holding my phone, but it was very, kind of holding it at me. And I was like, okay, whatever, noted. I just noted that. So we got on the plane and arrived in Philadelphia. Didn't really notice anything more about that guy. I kept an eye kind of like in the back of my mind, like where he was and things like that, but whatever. So we arrived in Philadelphia, and we were deplaning and walking around down to the baggage claim, and we're walking down a hallway and walking this way and turn a corner, and he's standing against a wall, at a corner in the baggage claim area, again with his phone, like waiting in the corner to like catch us. That's what it looked like to me. So we walked by and we walked right in front of him. Like he put himself in a spot where if he needed to get a picture to prove that he was doing his job, that he would see every person walking by and he could get a picture. And he's standing like this. Like, I don't know how many people stand like this. Just, it's kind of a little awkward. I'm like, all right, noted. Again, just noted. I'm like, he's, whatever. It was in my mind. I didn't even say anything to you. I didn't even say anything to Mike. I was just like, okay, that was interesting. And then we carried on with our trip. Didn't notice him throughout our trip. We can talk about the trip a little bit later. But then we, on the way home, got on the plane. And so we got on the plane and Mike got on first and Jack and I got on a little bit later because we had tickets. I don't remember the reason why. What was the reason why, Mike?
Well, because I'm a frequent flyer and so therefore I get to board earlier. So I go in and get their bags up and etc.
Mike's got special privileges. So he got to go first and we had to wait. So Mike went on first and he arrives to our seats and this flight was very full. It was completely packed, no space for any extra anything. So he arrives to our seats and the flight was so full that Mike didn't even get 3 seats together because it was myself, Mike, and Jack traveling. He got one aisle seat on this side and then the aisle seat and the window seat. So we would be middle, sorry. Yeah. Aisle, middle. And then there was someone sitting in that window seat. So when Mike arrived, the man sitting in the window seat was the man that I had been keeping my eye on. Mike didn't know. I hadn't told him anything. So Mike said to him, hey, do you mind swapping seats with us? You can have that aisle seat and then me and my family can sit here 3 in a row. And he was fine, right, Mike? He said, yeah, okay. No
he
problem.
Was a little hesitant, but then he sort of went, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he moved to the aisle seat so that we could sit 3 in a row, Mike on the window, Jack in the middle, and me on the aisle. So when Jack and I arrived, I was like, oh, okay, great. So this guy is not only took pictures of us beforehand, but now he's sitting right next to us. And in fact, had Mike not asked him to move, he would have been sitting immediately right next to one of us, whoever sat in that middle seat. And so that is when I said to Mike, okay, I had to try to like quietly say something because I didn't want him to hear us because we're really close together. It's a plane. I'm on the aisle and he's on the other aisle. So I said, Mike, and I like whispered and told him, hey, this is what happened. I didn't even mention this to you, but this is what happened with this guy. He took our picture. I'm pretty sure he took our picture in the Tampa airport. And then he took our picture in the Philadelphia airport. And now he's sitting right next to us. And I was like, we'll just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. So I'm sitting there and Mike opens up his binder and he's reading some documents in a binder. Are we allowed to say what you're reading, Mike? Do you want to say? Okay.
No.
So Mike is reading some documents that look like printed documents in a binder that Mike printed himself so he could spend this time on the plane being very productive, reading some very important documents. And he's sitting all the way on the window seat. And the man on the aisle seat is like, just sort of pretending like he's not super curious about what documents Mike is reading. And I look over at him and he's like looking like trying to see what is that? Is it a lawsuit? Is it what is it? What kind of documents are they? Oh, he's looking. And I catch him looking and he looks away and starts nodding his head. And Jack, my son, who's next to me, saw that exact same thing. And Jack was looking at him. And like sometime later on in the flight, a similar thing happened. Because Mike carried on through most of the flight, probably, I don't know.
All of the flight.
The very end, you stopped, you closed the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But like for 75% or more of the flight, Mike was looking at these documents. And the man kept trying to see what documents they were. At one point, after I finally said to Mike, okay, I think this guy's a PI. I think, he keeps looking at you. He keeps looking at your documents. And I keep catching him looking at you. And he keeps pretending like he's not looking. And it's very obvious to me. Like,
and doing his phone.
Yeah. he's picking up his phone and he's kind of like,
pointing it over this way and trying to pretend like he's
like
not taking pictures.
He's not interested and making stupid faces every time we catch him directly looking. And then I got up to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, Jack was like, the whole time you were gone, he was craning his neck, trying to see, because now he had a better view because you were gone. And now he could see more directly what the documents were. And he was looking, and Jack's like, and I looked over and I caught him, and he like tried to pretend like he wasn't looking. So then we just were like, okay, the gig is up. He's a PI. We definitely feel like he's a PI. We don't feel shy about this anymore. So we took pictures of him. And we just turned our phones on and took pictures of him, and he didn't react. And a normal person who's not a PI would be like, what are you doing? Why are you taking my picture? So I don't know if you want to show the pictures, Mike.
Yes, I will show the pictures of this gentleman who went out of his way to take pictures of us.
There's more
I don't
to
feel
it.
bad about taking pictures of him.
So this
Here
is
we
the
go.
one.
This is him.
This
sitting.
is Mike. Mike took this picture, and you can see me. I'm leaning in, talking to Jack and Mike about it. And he's just sitting there like, yeah, okay, take my picture. Of course, he knows we know that he's a PI. So Mike took this picture.
Allegedly.
Well, okay, yeah. So then we arrive to the airport, and he gets off the plane first before us in a big huff, and he's kind of like trying to go away. He heads down the like walkway, gangplank, whatever you call it, and
jetway, honey.
Thank you. I don't know the word jetway. Okay. Yeah, it's not a gangplank. That was a good one. The jetway. Thank you, Mike. So he heads down the jetway, and we are behind him. I actually have a video of him walking. I should have gave you that video. But so I think he's like leaving. I think he's gone. So now I'm like very vocally telling Mike all the things that I didn't really get to tell him too clearly. Like this happened, all the things I'm telling you guys right now. I hadn't really gotten a chance to go into detail and explain to Mike all the things that I noticed. And so I'm like loudly like, and then he did this and then he did that. And then we turn a corner somewhere. Where did we go, Mike? And I'm trying to remember what happened then. And then he's behind us.
We got on the train.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So we thought he was gone, long gone. We arrived to the tram because you have to get on the tram to go from the tram to the baggage claim area. So we get on the train, and I thought he would have been gone by now because he was ahead of us. And after we get on, he gets on right after and is right next to us in the train. And
there he is in all his glory,
standing right next to us. And so we're just standing there quietly, not doing anything. But then right around the time when the train ends, he's looking at his phone. Can you like
I don't know how to do that, honey.
You can't zoom in.
I need Mark Headley.
Okay, well, if you guys zoom into this photo, which I don't think you can do unless you can take a screenshot of your screens and zoom into the photo and look at his eyeballs. He's looking up at us to notice that we're taking his picture. He very much can see we are taking his picture. He says nothing. He does nothing. Both Mike and I are like this, like just a couple feet away from him, clicking our phones, taking pictures of him, and I take a video of him. That's where I have the video. I have the video of him from this point, getting out, walking down the jetway or whatever it is at that point, hallway. So, yeah, he's actually like watching us take his pictures, saying nothing. Then we arrive to the baggage claim area. He arrives before us to the baggage claim area, stands near the doors. And as we come down, again, picks up his phone and takes pictures like very quickly of me, Jack, and Mike. And then he puts his phone in his pocket as if he was talking on the phone, like through his AirPods or something, and says, "Where did you park? Inside or outside?" And then he heads out the door and he's gone. And that was the last we saw of him. So he documented our arrival to the airport, our arrival to Philadelphia, and our arrival back to Tampa. and like very clearly documented where we were and that we made it to baggage claim before he left. So it seemed super obvious to us that that was his goal, was to get evidence of, and not just me and Mike, Jack was also with us the entire time.
Yes, he was. And he probably followed us around in Philadelphia. We didn't even care. We knew where we were going and what we were doing and didn't care if anybody was following us, so didn't pay any attention. And in fact, the primary reason for going to Philadelphia was to attend the annual gala of Child USA and the annual board meeting, because I'm on the board of Child USA. And that, for any of you that don't know, just go to childusa.org and look up the organization. It does amazing work advocating for the victims of child sexual abuse in particular.
Can I add one more little detail, Mike, that was funny?
Sure.
And then, sorry to interrupt. The Child USA thing is very important, so we need to get back to that. But when I first told you that he was a PI, and I thought he was a PI, and you didn't know all the details of all the things I said, you looked over at him and you saw the flip-flops, and you said to me, "A PI in flip-flops?" And I was like, "Yes, Mike, a PI in flip-flops. He's not trying to oppress anyone. He's a deadbeat. He doesn't give a fuck. He is just in his flip-flops." So anyway, I thought that was funny that you were like, shouldn't he be more respectably dressed since he's a PI? No, he's in his flip-flops from flying from Philadelphia to Tampa.
Right.
All right. So back to the more important Child USA.
The Child USA, which is an incredible organization, which has changed the laws in numerous states to because there have been laws on the books in most states that prevent the statute of limitations laws that prevent people from bringing claims for sexual abuse after a certain number of years. But it is scientifically documented that, particularly with children, it may be way beyond the statute of limitations before those children, who in many cases are now grown up to become adults, are able to process, comprehend, and speak about the events which they suffered. And so Child USA has changed the laws in states all around the United States, with many more to come, that basically open the window to allow these victims to have their day in court and get justice for the abuse they suffered. And there's a lot more work that is being done by Child USA. Suffice to say, I am very, very proud of what we do and what the organization has accomplished. And I find it particularly invigorating and enlightening to attend this annual gala, where you get to hear the stories of what has happened to other people and present awards to those who have stood up for the victims and who are making a difference in protecting children from all sorts of abuse. It's not just sexual abuse, but primarily the focus is being on sexual abuse, because that's sort of the most horrendous stuff. But there is also educational and, health issues, and the way the system works that deprives children of their basic human rights. So this is a wonderful organization. I can't commend it enough to anybody. And that was why we were there. And here
the awardees that tell their stories at this event, they're usually survivors of some kind of trauma themselves, who are now have become activists. And some of their stories, just every year, the stories bring me to tears. The incredible work that these former survivors, now turned activists, are. It's really amazing.
Right. Anyway, here is just a few pictures from that event. Obviously, that's me and Jack and Christie. Jack all dressed up like a grown-up, probably the first time ever.
Not
I
ever.
think it's the first time we've ever persuaded him to wear a tie.
It's the first time with a full suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a very rough shot of me. This is actually in the National Constitution Center is where the event is held. There's a whole gathering area downstairs here, and then we all go upstairs for the presentations and a meal. And it's a wonderful, incredible facility. And inside this facility, interestingly, is what do they call it, honey? The Hall of something?
What's it called? The Hall of Signers?
Something like
that.
Anyway, it's bronze statues of everybody that signed the Declaration of Independence, and life-size. And it's pretty interesting to go in there and see how many small people there were way back then.
Except George Washington.
George Washington.
He was very tall, and Alexander Hamilton was very short.
Okay, so here is Jack and Christie standing next to the statue of George Washington. And just for fun, here is me and Jack posing next to whoever that is. I don't even remember now.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, so while we're in Philly, we did a whole bunch of stuff that people suggested and recommended to us. Christie went on Facebook and said, "Hey, we're coming to Philadelphia. What should we do? And where should we eat?" And that sort of stuff. And I'm going to do that at the end. I'm going to give you a little taste of some of the things that we did. But of course, one of the things that we wanted to do was check out the Ideal Org in Philadelphia.
Very ideal.
It's very ideal. Because this is Dave Miscavige's hometown. He's so proud of being from Philadelphia. And in fact, they purchased this building. You can see this article is from 2019. Is that what it says? I can't even see it.
It says January 28, 2019.
And it says Church of Scientology says it's building a huge house of worship in Center City. The embattled organization, which has racked up a big tax bill in Philly amid a dispute over its tax-exempt status, says it will open an ideal church on Chestnut Street. And this article goes on and says, way back in 2007, the Church of Scientology bought the early 20th century headquarters of the piano company, blah, blah. 2007. That is 16 years ago.
They bought it in 2007.
Right.
Yeah.
The properties just sat, and then they sat some more. Eventually, the city's Department of Licenses and Inspections went after the Church of Scientology for leaving the building in a state of blight, specifically citing the organization for graffiti and boarded up windows. In the middle of 2018, the church went in and suddenly did the work required to comply. Karine Powell confirmed that the group intends to make the Chestnut Street Church reality in the not too distant future. But like her colleagues 12 years ago, refused to commit to an opening date. So the Church of Scientology is going to build a huge house of worship on Chestnut Street, but just how huge is the demand? Its active Philadelphia congregation numbered in the hundreds. The Church of Scientology might want to take care of the tax bill that it's run up with the city over the last couple of years. $142,780 in delinquent real estate taxes. This is in 2018. Makes the church one of the city's 10 biggest real estate tax delinquents.
Wow.
Scientology, clearing the planet, one little org at a time. Okay, so while I was at the Child USA board meeting, Christie and Jack went to investigate what the state of this building is now. And here It is, and we
Doesn't
have
look so bad from across the street. Ooh,
I know.
Wait till you get up close.
We'll get closer. By the way, this building is an absolutely spectacular location in the center of Philadelphia, like
yes.
literally in the city center.
Directly across the street from Macy's.
Right, which is right next to City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you
it's
can
huge.
see
it's a huge building. It's bigger than that.
It's 15 stories.
Okay, wait. Don't keep going. If you Google it, if you zoom into this picture, which some of you might figure out how to do, you can see a window at the very top is open. There's an open window. Me and Jack noticed that, and we were like, oh dear. Hope they don't have any squatters in their building.
Okay, so this is just now on the building side of the street. And here you can see it was actually two properties that they purchased at the same time. Here is some of the nice looking facade of the building. They don't have it boarded up anymore. I guess that really kicked off the city. But if you look at the windows, you'll see they're covered in graffiti.
Yep.
And they have this big sign down there, work in progress, commercial. Well, there's no sign of any work in progress.
Nope.
In fact, work in progress, commercial, if you go down to the little bottom square where the blue square on that thing, Jack is down there getting a close gander at it. It says that this permit was issued in 2017.
That's right. And if you go back, Mike, to the other picture where it says anticipated completion and that piece of tape is covering it so you can't see the year, we could see it. So we looked, because it's not actually taped to it, it's just dangling over it. And it said May 2019. So they were prepared to get it done in 2 years. And, they got the permit in 2017. They were going to have it done by 2019. And here we are in 2023.
This is the sad tale of the biggest failed program in the history of Scientology. Failed in terms of generating any actual expansion for Scientology.
Yeah.
Roaringly successful in increasing the value of Sea Org reserves through property purchases.
Even if they now decide to get it done, it's just going to sit there and be an empty building like all the rest of the Ideal Org buildings that are beautifully renovated and look amazing and have nobody in them.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so then we did a bunch of tourist things based on recommendations and certain things that you just have to do when you're in Philadelphia. Here we go. I'll bring some of these up. First.
Yes, we saw the Liberty Bell. It was right across from our hotel, so we had to. Even though someone said, it's just a big bell with a crack on it. I said, well, I'll go check it out.
Okay. Then we went to Freedom Hall, and actually we did the tour of this, and that to me was
awesome.
Fascinating.
It was
absolutely fascinating. If you are ever in Philadelphia and you have not been on the tour of Freedom Hall, take the hour and a half or whatever it takes to do it, because it is so educational and so interesting about how the Declaration of Independence came to be, and the squabbling and infighting and problems that they had, and and the guys that do these tours, they do it every day of their lives. They are very, very good, very entertaining, and very, very good. Okay, what do we got now? Oh, okay. This is the observation tower at the top of City Hall in Philadelphia. And City Hall has the huge statue on the top of it of William Penn. In fact, he's like 8 feet above our heads here.
Yeah.
And that statue, this was supposed to be the tallest building in the world when it was constructed, got beaten out by the Eiffel Tower. They thought maybe they would take it down because they
were so mad.
They were so bad that the Eiffel Tower beat them. But anyway, they finished it. How long did it take? 30 years to build?
30 years. It took them 30 years. Yep.
Anyway, you go up in this old rickety elevator.
That was so cool. I thought that was awesome.
That takes you up the inside of this tower, and you get to the top, and there's a little walkway around the top with astonishing views of all of Philly. And that was a real treat. Really enjoyed that. I had not done that any of the times I'd been to Philadelphia before, and it was really a treat. This is the obligatory photograph under the little love sign, the city of brotherly love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So unfortunately, we couldn't, for some reason, we didn't take actual pictures of Jack running up the rocky steps. I don't know why. Christie ran up there too, but this is the big statue of George Washington that is just across the street on the other side of the rocky steps in front of the art museum in Philadelphia.
Yep.
See, I could be a tour guide, actually.
You're doing good, honey.
Tour guide. Okay. Many people recommended that we go to a restaurant in Philadelphia called Budokan. And it is, there is a sister restaurant in New York, and it actually was half a block from so we went there, and it did not disappoint. And it has this huge statue of Buddha in the background, which Christie captured here.
Yeah.
And our other favorite locale in Philly, the Reading
Terminal Market.
Terminal. I was going to say
Reading
station.
Terminal. Yeah.
Reading Terminal Market. And there is a lot of stuff that we really have become sort of favorites of ours there.
Yeah, I bet you the PI was there in that spot, but we just weren't even paying attention at that. We were having too much fun.
Probably see him somewhere, back where the pastries are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that actually is the end of our show and tell for this evening. I don't know whether anybody actually has questions. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention here. I don't know if anybody had questions or wanted answers to questions. Let me just see what's in this.
One question.
Okay, let's pull this one up. Casey, question. I understand that paid can legally track adults, but how are they able to follow kids around? Also, wouldn't he have to be licensed in Florida and PA to do this? Okay, well, sort of interesting questions. I think that everything is pretty sleazable. He would claim that he was not taking pictures of a child. He was taking pictures of the adult, and the child just happened to be there. I don't think that you have to be licensed anywhere to sit alongside and take photos of someone on a plane, or follow someone around on foot and take pictures of them. That's not, strictly speaking, licensed PI business. It's obviously better to be licensed because it gives some sort of protection, but it's not a requirement to do something like that. I could go do that. I could go follow someone around. In fact, I have.
Well, one time, a long time ago, when we were in Tarpon Springs, David LeBeau came out, and he was in front of our house with a video camera and a cameraman. I think it was him and like maybe one or two other guys videoing the front of our house. And we were, I'm just trying to star things at the same time. And we came out, you, me, and even Shane was with us. Shane, my son Shane, was like 2 or 3 at the time. And we had the dog, and all of us came out, and we were videoing him back. And I think we called the police and tried to get him to leave. And the police told us, yeah, he's fine. Can't do anything. Yeah. He's videoing the front of our house. No problem. Just have to leave it. Right. That was nice.
Yep. Okay. Rural SD lawyer. Maybe it was Scientologists who were building the William Penn Tower that took 30 years to build. Yeah, they're not really fast on their things. Funny comment. Okay. Wonder Woman question. How does Jack handle the crazy PI shenanigans? Like a champ. He is very, very informed about these things, and
same with Shane.
He just like goes, oh, okay, that guy. Yep, I get it. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe call him a nasty name.
Yeah.
Okay. Good question, though. Question, Mike, do you have U.S. citizenship? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I have both U.S. and Australian citizenship. Oh.
Are you unstarring them?
No.
Okay.
Japan of Green Gables, my favorite name. And now I know who this person is, because this person won a book, if you remember. And I had a whole correspondence about the name and where they live. And wow. Question, what is each of your favorite city in the USA? Okay, well, my answer is easy.
Favorite
Denver.
City. Oh, I can't pick one city to be my favorite. I can't pick.
You're going to say LA.
Probably if I had to pick, I'd say New York.
Okay. Well, New York's probably my second.
Yeah.
All righty. George Strafen 1. Question. Are you going to do a giveaway? Well, as a matter of fact, we should, because I actually have an extra signed book that someone who won it said, well, I actually won it, but I already have a book, so I would rather it go to someone else.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
in a couple of minutes, we'll do that. Okay. Donna Sheedy, is there an org in Philly? Yes, there is. It's in a storefront on Race Street, which is on the other side. It actually faces the blank facade of the Philadelphia Convention Center. The back of the Philadelphia Convention Center is like this, like 4 blocks worth of, looks like just brick wall. And it is on the other side of that street in a little sort of, I don't know what you would call it, shop front. It's been there forever. Nobody there. And typical.
We didn't stop at the org, but we did see it while we were driving by in the Uber that we were in, and it just looked dead. Nothing was going on there.
Right. Okay. Riley Reed Slacken, aka CB Ilf. Question, does Dave still have family in Philly area? Actually, I don't know. I think that most of them are deceased. Like his dad's brother, I know that he is deceased. I don't know about his mother's family. I don't know.
Yeah.
He never talks about them. 8 points of out factor. Question, how you folks holding up again and again? Nagamihi. I don't know what Nagamihi means. Do you know, honey?
No.
Okay. We're holding up fine. Just peachy. Peggy Frayne. Question, did you ever speak to the PI? I'm surprised he didn't tell you that you were a boring regular family. No, we didn't ever speak to him. Matt's caustic comments. Question, can you please explain how Scientology can track people's flight schedules? Okay. There are a number of ways of doing it. The most usual way is to call the airlines and give them a sob story about you're the husband or the wife, and your husband or wife is, their medicine ran out and you have to get it delivered to them, but you don't know which flight they're on or when they're leaving. some sob story, and get the airlines to tell you what the flight is. The other way is to hack your emails and find what flight arrangements you have. The other way is just to be following you all the time, and so you see where they're going.
And maybe you said this and I wasn't listening because I was starring comments, but they called Delta Airlines, which isn't the airline we were on, right, Mike, and they just straight up asked, and maybe they called some of the other airlines.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And just asked like, hey, and whatever reason, whoever they spoke to, maybe they did get it.
Right. Okay. These are really random. Japan of Green Gables. This is going to sound random, but when I was a kid, Tarpon Springs had really good baklava. Does it still have really good baklava? Yes, it does. And two of the biggest fans of baklava in Tarpon Springs are Amy and Matt.
Yep.
I love it. Tarpon Springs is a huge Greek community here in Florida, because Tarpon Springs was the sponge diving, and still is, I guess, the sponge diving headquarters in the United States. They harvest sponges there, and a lot of Greeks came and set up their sponge operations in Tarpon Springs. So there is a huge Greek Orthodox church there. It's Greek everywhere. Yeah. Most of the restaurants in downtown Tarpon Springs are Greek restaurants, and they all sell baklava. They all sell heroes. They all sell, every Greek thing that you can think of. Mm-hmm. So it's a great place to go visit.
Town. Yeah, it's fun.
Question, Colette, could this be prosecuted as stalking if they aren't licensed? Doubt it. Like Christie said, people taking photos. It is possible that this guy was just someone taking pictures of me.
Right.
It's possible.
Don't think so.
I don't think so.
The truth of the matter is we have PIs following us all the time. And we've had it happen to us for years and years and years and years and years. So we are accustomed to it, and we look for it, and we look for the things that they do and how they do it. And the likelihood that he was just a regular guy is very slim, but that's the thing. There's always the chance. And I try to be like, give people, benefit of the doubt before but by the end of all the things he did, and me taking his picture just right in his face, and him just not even like being concerned about that, I don't know, that did it for me. And the way he was trying to read your top secret document as desperate as he could. No one else cares what you're reading if they don't, you know what I mean? Like if they're not a PI.
Right. Okay. Sarah-Ella. Question. Why did you choose to stay in Clearwater instead of moving somewhere with less ST members?
Well, that's kind of a long story, but we are originally in Clearwater because of me and my family. My ex-husband, and he's the father of my first child, and he lived here. And when my son was just 2 or 3, we split up. So we stayed here so that we could all co-parent together. And Mike and I got together, and that's why we've always been here. But then Mike also was happy to be here because Benjamin is in this town. And if Benjamin wanted to leave, he would have somewhere to go. So those are the reasons. Family.
Yep.
That's why we're here.
And it's actually a really nice place to live. The Tampa Bay area is a very nice place to live. It's why so many people keep moving here.
Yeah.
It's just a good place to live.
It is a good place to live.
Okay. John Shostowski. Okay. I love the way that you did that. Okay, John, did you get a cheesesteak? Not this time. Had them plenty of times before. I've been to Philadelphia quite a lot. Had them plenty of times before. And for whatever reason, that is not Jack's thing. So he didn't need one. Christie didn't need one, so we didn't get one. Sorry. Bondi Music. Question. Do you think if none of the horrible stuff going on in the church happened, your life would be different now, i.e. not seeing family? Or is the system fundamentally flawed? Hold on, I have to break this down.
None of the horrible stuff in the church happened. Would your life be different now? I mean, well, I can answer it from my perspective. Potentially, I might still be in the church. So thank God I'm not. That's all I have to say about that. Like, I was so thoroughly dedicated to the church, as was Mike at a certain point in time, that I'm glad for the things that happened, the horrible things that helped me to see the light and leave. That's weird, but it is what it is. Like, I'm glad that I'm not there anymore. Not seeing family is one of the biggest reasons why I'm not there, because that's what they do. They tear families apart. The system is fundamentally flawed. Yes, definitely. That's how I would answer it.
Yes, so would I. Okay, 8 points of alt R factor. Nga mihi, New Zealand Maori, best wishes. Thank you. That's very nice.
So sweet. I love it.
Oh, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Question: did you get cookies from Reading Terminal? Yes, we did.
Definitely. Cookies and pretzels and oh my God.
Pretzel dogs. They are the best.
Yeah.
Okay. SPT Scott. I work a few blocks from org. It's a hole in the wall and there it appears, but all but abandoned. Beware of the trolls in the chat. They disgust me.
Oh dear. Sorry that we're not deleting those fast enough.
Yeah, we don't.
It's hard to talk to you and manage the chat.
Yes, it is. Okay, Helena Ann Hitzel. Shall I hit your mystery PI with a flag? Yes, please.
Oh, yes.
Caveman question: what would happen if you hired a PI to follow your PI? They would just go around in circles. It'd be like spy versus spy. I'm not going to waste money on that. Sorry, neat blocks, not blacks. My bad. I didn't notice. Did I miss one? I don't know what that is. Sorry, meat blocks, not blacks. I think I just read it as blocks, a few blocks away from the org, right?
Yeah, you probably read it correctly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just as they'd say in Scientology, I dubbed it in. Cute Sarah 83 question: just finished your book, Mike. It was very informative. Will Christie be writing one?
I don't know. I'm not writing one right now. I'm not writing one right now, but it's definitely not ruled out of possibility.
Okay, we got the last question here. Micah Kellner question: Scientology used to try to woo politicians and elected officials. Have they given up on this? No, they haven't given up. They're finding it harder and harder to get anybody who is, has two brain cells to rub together to come without looking and Googling what they're getting involved in. Back in the day, I remember back in the original ideologue days, we had the mayor of Buffalo cutting the ribbon for the Buffalo org, and Charlie Rangel, the congressman from New York, at the New York org opening, and the mayor of San Francisco doing the San Francisco org opening, all the way up to the mayor of Sacramento doing the Sacramento org opening. These days, not so much. You're not going to go to any big city and ask the mayor to come and open a Scientology org and have them agree. Those days are long gone, but it doesn't mean Scientology isn't sort of nibbling around at the bottom of the barrel, trying to get somebody to support them in some fashion. So they're still trying, but they're not succeeding. Let me put it that way.
I just want to shout out to Claire, who's in the chat. Hi, Claire. And Liz Ferris is in the chat. Hi, we see you.
Hi, guys. Okay. Well, this was short and sweet, honey, and I like it that way. I don't think that we need to go on. There's been a lot of people here. We do need
to do a giveaway.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So glad you reminded me. So
Should we just do it like old school? We don't
Yeah,
have the
old
fancy
school.
thing. We don't have the
We don't have
fancy.
Amy's fancy
Sorry, we're
random
old school.
random
Maybe one day
selector.
we'll learn how to do those fancy things. So put your book me or whatever you want to say in the comments.
Well, you
and
better
we will-
say something about a book, otherwise we'll not. Let's see. You want to pick it?
You can pick if you want, honey.
Okay. Matt's caustic comments book.
There
Matt's
you go.
caustic comments. There you go. You are the
Matt.
lucky winner, and you need to send an email to me on my blog. Click contact me on my blog. Please put your correct address. Too many people fill out and don't put their correct address. The books get shipped to them, and then they get shipped back because they're not deliverable. And I have to pay to ship them and pay to have them come back and then ship them back to the right address.
Oh dear, as you would say, Mike. Oh dear.
Oh dear. It's really, really a big problem in my world.
Addresses, please.
Put your address and put also what you want me to write in the book for you, and I will gladly write an inscription and sign it. Oh, honey, I see there's 2 more starred comments.
Okay,
here. What's happening
let's
here?
do them. We can do them.
Oh, no, there's one.
Okay.
One more. Salty Beach Girl Laurie, question. How does Jack do with all the creeps around? They really are pitiful following on a family trip. Fills my heart. What a great family outing. Well, thank you, Laurie. I appreciate that. And we already answered that question. He is pretty well educated and pretty tough.
Larry David in the house.
Larry David in the house.
I mean, I want to say the kids are amazing. These 2 boys are amazing, but I don't think that they love it. It's not like,
they don't.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like fun or wonderful or awesome. Like when Shane saw the PI, parked in our neighborhood, it makes him angry. That's how Shane feels about it. He gets angry. He gets kind of like, we got to do something about it, So Jack is more not as angry about it, but like he's like him and I. The other thing about this PI was he was sort of pathetic. He wasn't like, he was just so pathetic. That was the word for him, that Jack and I were just kind of laughing about it almost. Like it was just such a pathetic excuse for whatever. So Jack was like, oh my God, this guy's lame. So that's Jack.
Okay. We've got 2 more, honey.
Okay.
Dr. X.
Yay. Dr. X.
Looking very cool for school. Very nice family pics. Glad you guys enjoyed your trip to Philly. And thank you so much. You are so overly generous and kind and sweet. And I mean,
yeah, it was overwhelming. This box she sent that had so many goodies. Like, just, it was amazing. There's even a little bag, the bags that you have where you take the poop bag out. There's a bag to hold the poop bags. When you walk your dog, you need a poop bag to pick up the poop. There's a Collingwood poop bag in this box. They have everything branded for Collingwood. And now I think I have one of each of everything that Collingwood has branded. It's amazing.
Yes, exactly. Okay, one more. Apostate Alex, thank you for everything you both do, and huge respect for putting up with the PI nonsense. We are with you, united. Much love, DED, DNEs, OO, AO, SPTV, UK. Thank you, Alex.
So
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you so much. That's
I see
very
Amy
kind.
too. Thanks, Amy. Love you.
Amy's here?
Just a little comment from Amy.
Okay.
Here, I'll show it. Hi, Amy.
Sending you both so much love. Thanks, Amy. See you on Sunday. Okay.
Do them all now for real? Let me look.
You check.
Yes. Thank you for. Yep, we did that one. Here's one more super sticker. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep, we did them all now.
Okay. Well, we're at 55 minutes, so this is a perfect amount of time.
Yes.
In my estimation.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Click on the like button, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. All of those good things. I will put all of these pics on my blog so that you can see them, blow them up and look at them without having to go through a video and watch them, stuck in the middle of a video.
Yeah.
We will be back. I think that the next thing that we're probably going to do is Mark and Claire and Christie and I are going to do an episode about disconnection, because there is some change in that arena. And we all have a lot to say about that subject in particular.
Yes.
So probably that we will do that on Monday evening at our regular time at 7 p.m. I will confirm once we have it all nailed down, but that's our current plan.
Awesome. All right, guys. Right. See you then.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.